Hi there, I'm Mary Susie from Bead Me a Story. Thanks so much for joining me today. And if you're watching this video, please be sure to like and follow us on YouTube. We really would appreciate it. Today I am going to be doing a European 4-in-1 as well as a European 3-in-1. So I thought it'd be really interesting to show you the two weaves at the same time. One of these is a balanced weave, the European 4-in-1, and one is an unbalanced weave that's going to kind of go back and forth as we do it. I thought it'd be very interesting to kind of examine how these are made and show you how they're alike and how they're different. Both of these weaves are perfect for a first-time beginner. This is a great place to get started with chainmail. They're fast, they're fun, they're simple to do, and it starts you learning how to kind of follow patterns with chainmail. The other part that's fun about this is it doesn't use a whole lot of materials, so you can actually go crazy with your colors and really experiment a lot and have some fun. So I hope you will enjoy this project. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so what we're going to be doing today is a European 4-in-1 that you can see over here, and a European 3-in-1, which you can see over here, and this is also known as European Delirium. Okay, so you'll notice that I have gone ahead and laid out the first row of each of these weaves. Now, normally when I do European 4-in-1, I don't want anybody to get confused. I will do my tutorials and work it this way from left to right. But today I'm going to go away from myself just so that we can really look at the comparison between these two weaves as we go along. Okay, so this is the European 4-in-1. So I'm going to pick up 4 rubber O-rings, and of course I have 1 jump ring that's going to be in the center. Okay, and that is how your first row should look. So you notice that the pink are below the yellow, and also that my jump ring, it sticks out at the top. We have that half a circle at the top, and that the other part is sitting below the pink. Okay, so we kind of have this angling down towards ourselves. Okay, now the European 3-in-1. So I'm going to pick up the pink, yellow, yellow, okay, got my jump ring closed, and we want the jump ring to be sitting the same way. Okay, so we want the top of the jump ring sticking up. The part that's away from us is sticking up higher than the part that is towards us. Okay? Now, to do our second row, for the European 4-in-1, I'm just going to bring in 1 jump ring and 2 rubber O-rings. Now, I'm going to want 2 rubber O-rings for the 3-in-1, but in order to do that, I'm going to actually need 2 jump rings. So I'm going to do 2 rows to each single row of the European 4-in-1. And so you can see I'm just adding stripes of color. So you can use any 4 colors that you'd like. You can use 6 colors, 8 colors. The more colors you do, the more math you need to do to make sure that the bracelet's going to fit you and begin and end on the colors that you want. But you can do as many colors as you want here. I just thought this would be good to illustrate it. 4 colors is a nice even number to work with. Okay, so here is our European 4-in-1. So you notice I picked it up, and I'm making sure that that jump ring is staying the same way. It's up, the part that's away from me is up, the part that's towards me is down, and I'm going to take my jump ring and I'm going to go down through this right rubber O-ring and come back up out of the left. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up an O-ring on my right prong of my jump ring and an O-ring on the left prong of the jump ring. Okay, and then I will close my jump ring. If I can get a handle of it. And so when we're closing jump rings and we're using rubber O-rings, notice how I'm using a bent nose plier and I'm actually going down into, almost into the center of this O-ring that's over here. Make sure you don't ever grab onto the rubber because you can tear your O-rings that way. Metal tools are way stronger than rubber is, so you don't want to tear anything, okay? And there is our newest row of European 4-in-1. Now for the 3-in-1. So you'll notice that I've got one O-ring on this side and two O-rings on this side. So we want to add the new O-ring over to the right side. So I'm going to pick up this ring. And this is just like the European 4-in-1. We're going down through the O-ring on the right, coming back up out of the O-ring on the left. Both of these are yellow right now. And we're going to close our jump ring. Okay, and then we need two of this color to complete this row, so I'm going to add another jump ring. And then this time I'm going to go down through the new Cupcake pink jump ring on my right and back up through the Buttercup yellow on my left. And I'm going to add this O-ring to the prong that's on the left. Now, could I have added this O-ring at the start and just flopped it over? Yes. But just so that you can see the pattern here, I want to make sure that you see where everything's going to be laying as we go along. Okay? So now let's add another row. So once again, for the 4-in-1, we just need one jump ring, two O-rings, and we're gonna have to add two rows over here. So we're going to add two jump rings and two O-rings. So we'll be adding two separate rows. Okay, so now if you want to start doing this, I'm going to pick up my O-ring first for the European 4-in-1, just so you can see you could do that. I'm going to go down through the one on the right, up through the O-ring on the left from the last row we worked, and then I'll pick up the left side O-ring, place it on, and close. Okay. Now that is another row of European 4-in-1. Okay, so once again, we need to start over on our right-hand side. You can see this has 2, this has 3. So we definitely want to start over here. I'm going to pick up my O-ring. I'm going to pass down through the pink that's on the right, up through the pink that's on the left, and close. And then I will pick up another jump ring, pass down through the new O-ring I just added, through the Aqua, up through the pink on the left, pick up a new O-ring, and close. Okay, and you can already see this is an uneven weave, so you can see the jump rings going back and forth, but here you can see them going straight up. Okay, and now we're just going to do one more row, just because I want to complete this neon pink over here, because of course the first row here we just have a single, and so this row is never going to get finished until we reach the very end, but that will help us know exactly where to end things. So we're going to add 2 more rows over here, and I've got 2 O-rings for the 4-in-1. Okay, so to add to our 4-in-1, once again, we're going to take our jump ring, we're going to pass down through the right jump ring, or I'm sorry, down through the down through the right O-ring, up through the left O-ring. And I just want you to notice, see how these are just hanging down at the end? This is what makes this difficult to finish, is when we get to the end, we'll need to make sure that these fold back out. But it's okay that these are just dangling off the end the way they are. That's fine. For now, it's fine. Okay, I'm gonna pick up one on my left prong, one on my right prong, and close. Okay, so that's our 4-in-1. I'm going to resituate these ones that were flopping down. And this little one flops down, just that single on the 3-in-1 is the one that's going to flop down. But that's okay. Okay, and then on this side, we picked up our jump ring, picked up my O-ring. I'm going down through the Aqua on the right, coming back up through the Aqua on the left, and I will close this jump ring. Okay, and then I'm going to do the second row. I need to do the left side. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going down through the newest O-ring that's on the right, up through the newest O-ring on the left, which happened to be an Aqua. And then I'll pick up my new O-ring and close. And now we have a full series of 4 colors on either side. You're just going to continue this same way to finish the lengths of these. Okay? And as soon as we get to a finished length, I will show you how to close each of these. Okay, so you can see that I have completed the length of these, and I just want to show you that these do pretty much match up in size. I think the 3-in-1 is just a touch longer than the European 4-in-1. And I repeated my segments of 4 9 times. Okay, so that in no way equals this length, in which I've done it, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so 11 segments of 4, that's 44 rows. The rows get a little bit more complicated here, but I've basically repeated my segments 9 times, so that's about 36 rows. But remember, we've got a lot more jump rings going on with the European 3-in-1 than we do the 4-in-1. So my whole point in telling you this is just that these don't match up equally. You're not going to be able to say this one uses twice as many jump rings as that one does, but you can kind of get it to match up, especially if you're doing only one color. I like to use multiple colors in my tutorials so that you can really see the steps clearly, but of course it does make it a little bit more limited as the sizes you can make. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish this. I'm going to just point out that I ended with the neon flamingo over here, and I've got 2 jump rings set out to finish this one with. But I'm going to finish the European 4-in-1 first because that is easier, okay? So remember that our O-rings at the start of it are going to flop down. So we will deal with that in just a minute. So first, what I want to do, this is my last row, and I'm just going to finish my last row by going down into the right side ring, back up through the left side ring. Okay, and I want to get that about midway through because I'm going to pull this starting end up and around, and see how I'm flattening out my O-rings? If you don't do this, if you don't flatten these out and hold them in place, it's not going to lay right when you link this all together. So I just want to put 1 prong over one side of the jump ring. I'm sorry, I want to put one of my O-rings onto one of the prongs of the jump rings. And then I want to put the other O-ring, the other neon flamingo, onto the other prong of the jump ring. That's why I wanted that to be sitting about midway through. Okay, and then you can see that that's going to complete this in a circle, and once you close this ring, you won't know where it started or ended. Okay, and that is that bracelet. Okay, and now over to the European 3-in-1. So if you remember, we started with this odd neon flamingo at the start, and I ended with a neon flamingo too. By starting and ending on that same color is going to make it a little bit easier for us to see what we're doing. Okay, so just like we would start any row, I'm going to go down through this last ring that I added, back up out of the Aqua, and then I'm going to bring this around. Now let's just make sure that this neon flamingo is on this left-hand side, just like how we started it, and that all of this stuff is also laying flat. Okay, so that we make sure we go through this O-ring in the right direction, which is from below it to above it. Okay. Let me grab onto my jump ring. It'll make it easier here. Okay, so now my jump ring is stiff and in place. I'm going to kind of lay that neon flamingo one on top over on this left-hand side. So that's what the first jump ring does. We're going to need 2 jump rings to close this weave. Okay. And so what I'm going to do is, I know that it's these neon flamingo. And what you can see here, just to kind of point this out, is you can see how the jump rings are up and then down and then up and then down and then up, up. Okay, so if you lose your place where you see 2 up jump rings and there's not a down in between them, this is where we need to be, is right here. Plus we also know that neon flamingo was the color that we just joined. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this jump ring, I'm going to go down through the one on the right, or the one that's nearest me, and up through the one on the left. So I'm just dealing with these neon flamingos right now. Okay, this is just like when we would start a row and we needed to add one on the right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my work around so that I can get over to what was the right side prong, and I can kind of pull. It's a little fiddly, but I want to be able to pull this. Can't even get a hold of it. Pull this yellow ring up over top of that jump ring prong. Okay, and then close. Okay, so that was the right hand side. I just had to turn it around so that I could reach it better with the jump ring. But now you see that this is complete. All of the jump rings flow back and forth through it, and we don't even know where the start and the end was. Okay, so that completes our little segment here of European 4-in-1, which is easier, and I would definitely learn this one first. And then this is European 3-in-1, and this is an unbalanced weave, so your rings will go back and forth. These look great together too, mixed with some other bracelets in complementary colors and things like that. But I thought this would be an interesting experiment to go through and just kind of show you that these are very easy bracelets to do, and this is a great way to start experimenting with color. They don't use a lot of materials. The European 4-in-1 in particular lays very flat against the wrist. A lot of people like wearing these because they do lay so flat, and they're just so soft with the rubber on them that people who don't normally wear jewelry are often willing to wear these because they're very comfortable. And you can play a lot with your colors, and you know, I could have put some colors up on this side and others on this side. I can change my jump ring colors, my O-ring colors. So these are nice beginner ones to start experimenting with and seeing what you can do. Okay, so I hope you had a great time watching this. Please be sure to like and follow us on YouTube And of course, all of our kits and supplies are available at beadmeastory.com. And we have tons and tons of colors of these rubber O-rings. And the jump rings come in just a multitude of colors. So feel free to, check out our website and see what you can find there, and then make beautiful things. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you next time.